Welcome to Board Game Archaeology, where we play time-worn games from the past. I'm Hunter,
I'm Rob.
and today we're playing the Masters of the Universe game.
Masters of the Universe featuring He-Man, a new 3D action game made for 2 to 6 players, ages 5 to 10. It's a golden game printed by Western Publishing, and of course they're copyrighted from Mattel.
Yeah, and the goal of the game is to be the first character or set of characters to reach Castle Grayskull.
And so this kind of cool, interesting, different take on a game. You have your 6 characters. You have your spinner. Again, you're going to either get a spinner dice or cards that tell you what number you're going to go on. And it's got this cool board that you really just basically follow the instructions on the board, and that's why it's made for ages 5 to 10. But the cool thing is, the board it can actually spin and move your character in a totally different area on the board. So if you land on a certain area on the board, you get to spin.
Yeah, and really you just spin amongst your friends to see who goes first and choose one of the kind of ways to do it. I think by default the game kind of incentivizes that you pick one character and that character is sort of independent of like the two-party system here.
Yep, and there's variations to the game where you can play with teams where the red take on the blue if you got the right even number to do that. And you can play 3 characters yourself. There's different ways you can play this with the characters. If you had an odd number and you wanted to play 3 characters, somebody would play 2, somebody would play 1. It wouldn't matter if you wanted to still team up.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I really like about this is that you can kind of really choose how you come at it. But it's really quite simple where you just spin the spinner. You're only going a max of 4 spaces and you're moving around the board, and sometimes people can mess you up by spinning the board and maybe it'll work out for you and maybe it won't.
Yep, and then we have battles in this game, which is kind of cool because you just wouldn't really think about it. But if your good character lands on the same space as a bad character, obviously something has to happen. So you just basically spin for the highest number. So if He-Man were fighting a Skeletor here, he'd spin, got a 3, and 4. So He-Man loses. Does he go back to start?
Yes, he does.
There you go.
He goes back to start, and that whole kind of system keeps going until you either get your one character, because if you're doing it where, you're just one, and if you're playing with like 3 people or 5 people, then even if there's 2 blue characters in the same space, you'll still do the battle. And then, yeah.
If they're individual characters,
yeah,
not
if you're choosing to play like that.
Yep.
But yeah, at the end of the day, it's really just about maneuvering, doing exactly what the spaces tell you. The only other thing is that you got the Orko spaces here that can send you to the other spaces. He can transport you, but that's about it.
He is magical.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is it's pretty straightforward, but with the turns of the board, it just changes your whole dynamics. This character went from way up here to 6 out to being absolutely 1 away from finish.
And you have to land on it by exact count. But if you're trying to get more than one character there, that can become a hassle pretty quick. And as you can see, you can go from being right at the finish to on the other side of the board.
Yep. I like it because it's so incredibly easy, and it gives you a different twist to it, I guess. But it does. It gives you something different to the playability, but it's incredibly easy. There's arrows on the board, and the writing's in big writing. So when you land on either Battle Ram or Wind Raider or what was the other one down here, Talon Fighter, those are the ones where you turn 1 quarter to the right, which changes the entire game. Mm-hmm. So simple and still a very effective game.
Yeah, it's a really simple, like cute-looking game where you can pick between your characters of He-Man, Teela, and Man-at-Arms.
Yep, and one thing about He-Man is that it always had good art. There were always really good professionals working on the comic books and the box art for He-Man, so that follows through with the game. It's illustrated with all of our favorite characters, and I'm a little old for He-Man, but I was watching kids at the time, Laura and I were, that actually were really big into He-Man, and I think they watched this show, actually. I just got a Frisbee from Josh, which I thought was funny with a hodag on it. But beautiful artwork, a fun game, super simple, 5 to 10 for sure. As an adult, it's a fun game.
Yeah. Well, thanks for watching.
Yeah, and if you want to know more about us, check us out on the web at toyarchaeology.com. You can also find us on Facebook, where we're more active. Don't forget to subscribe to us. and like us and share with your friends and family.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.